Before we dive in, let's set the stage. For thousands of years, people built thriving gardens, farms and orchards without a single bag of chemical fertilizer. They relied on methods rooted in tradition, observation, and a deep respect for the land. Today, most gardeners are sold quick-fix bags of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, but those products rarely match the long-lasting soil health that older methods provide. If you're serious about growing food with resilience, whether for backyard self-reliance or long-term survival, it pays to know what worked for our ancestors. In the next few minutes, you'll see why old-time fertilizers still hold their ground against anything store-bought and how you can use them in your own backyard right now. Animal manure was, and still is, the backbone of soil fertility. If there's one fertilizer that has stood the test of time, it's manure. Farmers have used it for centuries to return nutrients to the soil, and when handled properly, it produces richer, healthier crops than most synthetic mixes. Cow manure adds steady, slow-release nitrogen. Chicken manure is far more concentrated and works best when aged or composted for several months. Horse manure contains plenty of organic matter that improves soil structure, especially in sandy or light soils. The key is balance. Fresh manure is too hot and can burn plants, but when it's composted or allowed to age, it becomes a powerhouse. A simple method is to collect manure, pile it, and let it sit for half a year before applying it in spring or fall. Spread it in a thin layer over beds or dig it into the top few inches of soil, and you'll see results season after season. Wood ash turns waste into a soil amendment rich in minerals. When wood stoves and open hearths heated homes, the ash never went to waste. Wood ash is loaded with potassium and calcium carbonate, both critical for plant growth. It also raises soil pH, making it an excellent choice for acidic soils. The best way to use it is sparingly. Too much can make soil alkaline and stunt crops. For a backyard application, sift cooled, clean wood ash from untreated wood and sprinkle a handful around fruit trees, berry bushes or over compost piles to balance acidity. In regions with heavy clay, wood ash can help loosen the soil while feeding essential minerals. Think of it as an old-time potash fertilizer, something our ancestors counted on long before modern chemical versions. Fish scraps gave coastal farmers and gardeners steady fertility. Across fishing communities, nothing was wasted. Fish heads, bones and guts were buried directly in fields, supplying slow-release nitrogen and phosphorus as they decomposed. Native American tribes famously taught early colonists to bury fish with corn seed, ensuring robust growth. You don't need to live on the coast to try this method today. Bury fish scraps a foot deep beneath fruiting crops like corn, squash or tomatoes. The depth keeps animals from digging it up while ensuring nutrients seep into the root zone as the fish breaks down. For modern adaptation, blending fish scraps with water into a fish emulsion creates a liquid feed that can be poured directly around plants. This is one of the clearest examples of history's fertilizers outperforming many synthetic counterparts. Compost was, really the original recycling system of the homestead. Long before the term composting was, mainstream, households turned every scrap of organic matter into fertility. Leaves, kitchen peelings, straw, manure, all of it went right back to the soil in a natural cycle. The result was humus-rich earth, full of microbial life. What makes compost powerful isn't just the nutrients, it's the living biology it delivers. Compost carries fungi, bacteria and earthworms that keep soil ecosystems thriving. To make your own, just layer green material like kitchen scraps with brown material like dried leaves or shredded cardboard. Keep it moist and give it a turn now and then. After a few months, you'll have dark, crumbly compost that improves any type of soil. Even if you don't have a big pile, trench composting, burying kitchen scraps directly into garden rows, works just as effectively. Seaweed fed crops wherever the ocean met the land. Coastal farmers didn't just rely on fish, they also dragged seaweed straight from the beach into their fields. Seaweed contains trace minerals like iodine and magnesium that are often missing from inland soils. Unlike some fertilizers, it doesn't really need composting. It can be rinsed of excess salt, chopped and laid directly as mulch, where it both fertilizes and helps retain soil moisture. For inland gardeners, dried seaweed products are available, but if you live near the coast, a bucketful of washed seaweed around fruit trees or vegetables adds a nutrient boost store-bought fertilizers simply can't match. Bone meal provided a slow but steady source of phosphorus. When animals were butchered, bones were never discarded. They were burned or ground into powder, creating bone meal, an excellent source of phosphorus and calcium. Phosphorus is essential for strong root systems and abundant flowering. In the garden, bone meal is best worked into the soil beneath root crops like carrots or beneath bulbs like onions and garlic. A simple step is to sprinkle it into planting holes before covering the seed. Unlike synthetic fertilizers that release too fast, bone meal feeds slowly over time, often lasting an entire season. Old-time fertilizers focus on building soil, not just feeding plants. The greatest lesson from these traditional fertilizers is that they don't just provide nutrients, they improve the soil itself. Store-bought fertilizers may deliver a quick burst of growth, but they often leave soil depleted in the long run. Manure, compost, ash, fish, seaweed and bone meal add structure, organic matter and living biology that sustain fertility year after year. If you're serious about long-term food security or simply want healthier gardens, these old methods are more than history. They're the backbone of sustainable growing. The wisdom of the past isn't outdated. It's practical, proven, and often superior to what's on the shelves today. The fertilizers our ancestors relied on are still available to anyone willing to put in the effort to recycle, gather, or prepare them. If you've been relying solely on store-bought bags, now is the time to test these older methods for yourself. Start small, observe the results, and build your soil with the same timeless practices that carried generations before us. If you found this guide valuable, don't forget to subscribe to the Backyard Wisdom channel for more history-rooted survival knowledge, and share this video with fellow gardeners and history buffs who appreciate the old ways. Keeping these traditions alive is more than nostalgia. It's a path toward resilience,